Welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, doing what the fuck we do, proving the haters wrong. Out here just dropping pods on God, hit them with the lob. Man, I'm just I got me a beer crack today. I'm gonna drink me a couple, and we're gonna talk some. What we've been doing every week. We getting on here, and we just basically been talking some Dynasty. Bring up a few players, maybe a trade or two. Who knows? We'll bring it all up, but can't do that without introducing my main man, the craft man. What's going on, big dog?
Doing the same thing. I'm excited about going to Lambeau this weekend. Get to go see my Packers in person for the first time.
What?
They ain't looking good right now, but it doesn't matter. It don't matter if it's 40 degrees and raining. I'm gonna have a damn good time, and I'm gonna be drunk off my ass watching that game.
Damn, you're going to Lambeau?
Crazy.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. I would love to go to Lambeau Field. I would love that.
You know, Chris, I hadn't even got to go to many football games lately in life. The last one I went to was that Clemson game with you, and I remember sitting up there drunk and high watching that game like everybody's cheering.
I told you I almost bought tickets. It was like second week of the season. I forgot who we played, but for like 55, you could sit on the 50, just a little bit up from the 50.
Hey, we could probably get some Clemson tickets these days with the way
I just love the thing I love about Clemson. I love where it's at. I love that it's in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like right there on Lake Hartwell.
You know, I take that back. Swizzy did go to a Georgia Tech Duke game, maybe 4 years ago.
At Georgia Tech.
Like that. At Bobby Dodd, Bobby Dodd. I've been to Bobby Dodd.
That's awful, dude.
I've been to Bobby Dodd the most. By the way,
context for the listeners: if you don't know about Georgia Tech is in like seriously like one of the most dangerous fucking places in Atlanta. Like, it really is a bad fucking place to be walking around.
You know what me and my family say? We say, "Police Bobby Dodd." But I love going to Bobby Dodd. I like that it's old, but what you doing, Stinky?
Man, I tell you, last time I went to the Georgia Dome, we went for a concert, or not the Georgia Dome, but Mercedes-Benz. We went for a concert and got the truck broken into, all the cars in the parking lot, got smashed windows and everything stolen out of them. And, it was just a damn good time. We had to sit on glass all the way home, try not to get glass up our ass. That was a good time.
I saw the Chargers before they went to LA. I've been to Qualcomm out at San Diego. I watched them play the Chiefs when Jamal Charles was playing there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to make it where I go somewhere different, like every year. Like I want to try to go to Minnesota, go to that stadium and see the Pack play. I would love to go to Arrowhead, check that out. Maybe see them play the Bengals or something. That'd be a good one.
Fellas, I've been a Falcons fan all my life. I've never been to one Falcons game. Never.
Damn, for real?
Talk about it all the time. But
fuck the Falcons, and I've seen like 10 of them bitches.
Exactly. Like I ain't even a Falcons fan, but when the Packers come to town, I usually go. Didn't go this year though. Thank God.
Well, fellas, with that said, we're gonna just jump right in. If you heard some talking, that was my little girl. Just talking up a storm, man. She saw Swizzy and the craft, man. She said hi. Now we went to the pumpkin patch today. She's like blowing kisses to the people saying bye. She's like bye. I was like, you don't even know these folks.
So I've been loving the pumpkins.
That's what I'm saying. It was love some fucking pumpkins, man. But anyways, fuck it. We gonna talk about some players and some stuff. I know Craftman's got his dynasty ranking sitting right in front of him. I don't have mine in front of me. Chris don't either. I don't think, right? Chris, you got yours?
No.
So I was just thinking about this one question the other day. I asked it before we hopped on the pod. And I just think there's just a legitimate argument for a few guys out there. So here's the question that I want to ask out there and put for folks. Who is the running back dynasty number one? I think running back is always changing. Like I feel like them things change so much more than any position. So Kraft, that's just what I want to ask that question. Like, who is the motherfucking RB1 in Dynasty right now?
I mean, my opinion, and I think we're probably going to have all kind of different opinions, but Brees Hall's my RB1. I love Bijan. I think he's great, talented, but from what you've seen so far this year is just the fact that his ceiling is capped. Goal line carries, not getting as many touches as you would like. The offense doesn't really move the ball that well. I mean, the Jets ain't that much better, but I just think the talent is equal there, and I just like Brees Hall more than Bijan, just based on the fact that he gets everything, and Bijan got to share carries.
Chris, what you think, big dog?
Well, the more and more I think about it, it's just like when you're like different people define the dynasty RB1 a lot different than a lot of people. It's like, are y'all looking at young? Are y'all just looking at that from like durability? How long I'm gonna have these players? Yada yada, because even at 27, 28, I think I could make an argument that Christian McCaffrey could definitely be the dynasty RB1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't look like he's slowing down. Man, looked good the other night.
And the thing
Carrying
that's
my ass in
missing,
redraft.
the thing that's missing from Bijan, Brees, and all these other people is the scoring.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's not only is he out there getting 100 yards from scrimmage, he's getting 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's 12 more points that he's getting. So that's what makes him effective. Now, if Bijan wasn't getting vultured by Algier, they ran it a bit different. He starts getting those touches, it'll be a lot different. But
The thing that with CMC, why I don't disagree with the argument, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna say some things. I think there's an argument for a few guys. But CMC, the thing is that you like about CMC and with the 49ers is they are committed to getting this man the rock. I mean, they was talking about this man might not even play on Monday Night Football, and they're still giving him the ball, getting him involved in the passing game.
he didn't miss a single offensive snap
So
in that game. He played every snap.
redraft next year, CMC top 1 or 2 pick. Wouldn't you agree with that, Kraft?
Yeah, I agree with it. Or Tyreek Hill. I mean,
Right.
at this
Them are the
point,
top
I'm
two.
looking at the scoring right now. McCaffrey's got 170 points on the year. The next best is Raheem Mostert at 145. So he's absolutely destroying the field. And like I said, McCaffrey got 170. Tyreek got 191 points on the year full PPR. So like these guys they've just been doing it forever. And we're talking redraft next year. I mean, I think I'm starting to side on the wide receiver side, but running back wise, he's by far and away the best right now. Like Chris said, he gets everything.
And we kind of hit it on it. I think a lot of people would still have Bijan up there at number 1. But this is just the honest truth of how I feel about Bijan and the Falcons. And it starts with like Arthur Smith. And I'm not really one of those guys. Like if you get on Twitter, everybody's just pissed off. Like, why ain't they doing this? Like, I'm just gonna be real. Arthur Smith does not give a fuck about your fantasy football teams. He's just out there winning football games. But in my opinion, I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna insult Arthur Smith in a different way. Is I don't know if this man, like, we got all these motherfucking weapons, but this man doesn't like get them involved all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't shown to me that he is willing to use Bijan in a way where I'm like, damn, this dude Bijan is gonna get some CMC work right here. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Kyle Pitts. Like, dude, Kyle Pitts probably should be the tight end 1 in reality if you just look at it with talent and all that shit. But Arthur Smith ain't getting him involved like that. Drake London should probably be way up there in rankings too. But it's just like, is Arthur Smith really going to get you involved? This man still wants to give Cordell Patterson some run. You know what I'm saying? Like, Algier's getting run, which I ain't hating on it. I mean, I like Algier too, but I think Bijan, there's an argument for Bijan to not just be number 1, but to me, not even be number 2, number 3, number 4 ish.
Yeah, I
From
agree.
watching, I'm right there with you. Like from what I've seen from them this season and knowing the Falcons, I really don't even think that I've got him in the 4, maybe not even in the 5. Because like, what you think? I know y'all definitely got Kenneth Walker up there. He's for
He's
sure
up
up
there.
there.
Yeah, he's up
Brees
there.
Hall's for sure up there. Then what? So McCaffrey's definitely in the top 5.
ETN.
ET,
ETN.
yeah, forget about it. See that's 5 right there. After that, he would be at 5.
So that's really the main reason I wanted to bring this topic up is because I think there's a pretty good argument for Travis Etienne to be the RB1. He's got first round draft capital. This dude's going off. He's the RB3 this year, which is what, behind CMC and Mostert. So
Yeah.
Tank Bigsby ain't touching this man. That dude is not touching that man. That man Etienne is up there, just like Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet ain't touching that man. They're
Yep.
just good. I think Kenneth Walker's up there too. So I don't know. I just think with the way these things change so much, you know what? Chris kind of has me convinced that CMC could be number 1 because in tight ends, we keep Travis Kelce at Dynasty number 1. He's old. You know what I'm saying? So
There's nobody behind Kelce that's even coming close to his. I mean,
Right.
McCaffrey this year, like we mentioned, nobody's really coming close to his numbers. But Kelsey's just by far and away destroying everybody. I mean, Mark Andrews is. You can make the argument that Mark Andrews should be up there close to Kelsey, but that's about it. Maybe T.J. Hawkinson in a full
Hey.
PPR with his 10 receptions a game he gets.
I'm about to say, I've seen some people saying Hawkinson's the Dynasty tight end 1.
He's a
I
good
mean,
one to
maybe.
have. But who would you rather have, Hawkinson or Andrews?
Hawkinson.
Probably Hawk, but I mean, at least Andrews, he's going to be linked to Lamar Jackson for a while. I don't know what's going to go down with Minnesota right now. Well, my opinion. I think Kirk Cousins is going to sign another little 2-year deal, get a lot of money.
Yeah.
He'll be back with them. That's what I think. So
There's
With
no.
all the losing they've been doing, Kirk's been playing pretty good.
he did
You
play
know?
good against 49ers.
I mean, he just fucking lit up the best defense in the NFL, other than Cleveland.
without his best weapon.
Without his best weapon.
Dude's out there throwing the Powell and shit like that.
Well,
Well,
want to be
Addison.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh man, so gotta give Kirk Cousins some credit. So yeah, I mean that's just what I wanted to bring up about the RB1. Listen, I think there's an argument for literally like 4 or 5 guys to be on that RB1 list, and it ain't just as clear cut as Bijan number 1. I mean, I think Brees Hall. It's all tough. It's tough, man. That's a tough one. I
Man,
just think. Go ahead,
like,
Chris.
what I want to say is about something like this is like, okay, so let's go back. What is it? 2023. Let's go back like 6, 7 years. You're doing dynasty rankings then. What? Christian McCaffrey. Like right
No,
when he came in, he'd be what? He'd be up there. So as the time goes on in a dynasty, right? You want these players to be the number 1 for a long time. A lot of people do with dynasty that I see where a lot of people kind of fuck up or they overdo it is that they're putting so much value in just because, oh, this dude's 20 years old, he's better for me to have in the long run. It doesn't work like that. Now, yeah, that could be good, like if you have Bijan Robinson, you're going to be fine, barring, some catastrophic fucking event. Like, you're going to have a good running back. But just because you got Bijan Robinson, that's not guaranteeing you're going to be winning games just because you got Bijan Robinson, because he's younger and all this stuff. Because somebody can walk out there like Raheem Mostert, the guy's 31 years old, and he's literally destroying your team right now. Like, he's just absolutely running everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of people get caught up with the age, and technically, if dynasty rankings they're going to change every year. So in reality, to me, it's like, what's the point?
I mean, I agree with you totally because there's been like going back 7 years or so, Saquon was probably the RB1 when he came out. And if you held on to him this long in Dynasty, like I would say that you're probably not happy with the outcome of Saquon's career.
Exactly.
Instead, like maybe you should have got Derrick Henry for his career, and went a little older and just rode that out. And they're still doing the same thing right now. You might lose out in the long run, like your trade value at the very end right now. But I mean, if you can get 3 years of just straight up, like if Christian McCaffrey gets 3 years of what he's doing now, I mean, you had last year, he was great. Then this year, and you get next year. If Bijan is the RB10 or RB15 every year for 5 years, it's not the same. Those aren't the guys that win your leagues. The guys that win you championships are the ones that are like top 3, top 5 every year.
It's like your dynasty rankings. And when I do my dynasty rankings, we do them every year. I think this year I'm going to make a effort to put it like, it's almost like the correct dynasty rankings are really just in the middle of your dynasty rankings and your redraft rankings. And then somewhere in the middle, that's where your dynasty rankings probably is where they should be.
Shit, I've heard of people doing a dynasty startup using their redraft rankings.
Yeah.
And next time I do a startup, I might just try it and see what happens.
Hey, we up there, we doing this fantasy football stuff, and I'm going to do another dynasty startup, but I'm going to probably wait like 2 or 3 years. Definitely going to try to go veterans this next go round. I see the way some of these people do their teams. And I went young on my last dynasty startup. It really didn't even plan it out that way. It just kind of worked out that way. And then once I started going a certain direction, I just kind of went that way. But I think this next go round, I'm going to be like my guy, Noah Dick Blower, and get some veterans up in there and start trying to win from the get.
Yeah.
But let's see where Dick Blower is at in 5 years. Let's see what he can do. Shout out to Dick Blower.
We'll see. But as we said, you just got to know when you do that, you got to know when to sell. And I was talking to him a little bit earlier today, just like an experiment. Like if I had a league that was like $0, ain't nobody playing for no money, I would try to like draft a veteran team and just trade every single one of them at the deadline when everybody's desperate and see how many picks that I can accumulate. You know what I'm saying? Like just end up with just a shit ton of picks because they're going to be like more valuable than they would be at the start of the year, and just see where that goes. Because you can always trade players for picks, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so we got it settled at RB1, and the conclusion is they all can be RB1. Fuck, there's a few guys. CMC might be the conclusion. Well, Kraftman still got Breece Hall up there. Chris kind of got me convinced on CMC. I just wanted to throw ETN in the ring, throw his hat in there. Kenneth Walker is pretty high too, and people were fading him this year.
Yeah, I was one of them. Can't forget about JT. Either.
JT. Justin Tucker? I'm just kidding. All right, then next. Bring up another player. I saw on the bird. I wish I could figure out who said it. I forgot, man. I've been on Twitter lately, but I ain't posting. I posted on Twitter today, and it was like the first time I posted in a couple weeks, man. Fuck that shit. But hey, coming back strong. Your boy about to be on there getting active. But I saw somebody say Brandon Ayuk, San Francisco 49ers wide receiver, top 8 dynasty wide receiver, said he would trade Chris Olave plus for Brandon Ayuk. How do you feel about that kind of stuff? How do you feel about that kind of stuff, Kraft man? I like Brandon Ayuk. I've went way up on him this year. Top 8? Give me your dynasty rankings, Kraft man. I know you got them in front of you. What are your top 8-ish, 10-ish dynasty rankings right now? Wide receiver.
All right. So at the start of the year, I'm going to mix some stuff around because this was before this year. I had Jamar Chase, JJ, CD, AJ Brown. I think I'm going to throw AJ Brown ahead of CD at this point.
Got to.
I had Jalen Waddle at number 5. He's probably going to have to move down. Garrett Wilson was number 6. He lost his quarterback, so I
wouldn't move him down too much yet.
Going on down.
He's below Amon-Ra.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. I had Tyreek at 7. You can argue to put him at 3 if you want to. Like if you want, I don't know if I'd have him ranked above AJ Brown, but CD, like it just depends on what your team's going for. But I had, let me see where I had Brandon Ayuk before this season started. Shit, I had him at 33. I had him all the way down at 33 behind Zay Flowers. So top 8 seems like a lot, but I would have him probably up there close to that Chris Olave range if you were to ask me today.
So top so where do you have Olave, Craftman? I'm sorry.
I had Olave at 14.
Oh, 14?
Yeah, behind Stephon Diggs and Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith.
Craftman was kind of fading Amon-Ra at the beginning of the year.
He was. I remember we was up.
He was hating that man. He was like, "Fuck Amon-Ra, he's trash."
We was
I
up
had
in
him
his prime.
I had him behind T. Higgins.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I remember when we got into that. I
have
assume
to-
all of that's been taken back now. That's kind of your like Amari Cooper take, you know. Although your Amari Cooper take is looking pretty strong this year.
I'm always a year late, like the Cortland Sutton take last year over Jerry Jeudy. I'm like always a year late, but I mean these rankings are tough. I had DK Metcalf up there pretty high too, so
I'm on off the top of my head, Craftman. Dynasty rankings. You got JJ, Chase. Those are your 2. AJ Brown gotta be up in that 3-ish range. I feel like. And I'm just spitballing, by the way. I would move Amon-Ra ahead of CD. I know I'm probably missing somebody because I went to 4, but I think the thing is with Tyreek Hill is you just got to decide: is this man really retiring after 2 years and going to be a porn star or whatever he said he wants to do?
3 years though.
3
I mean,
years.
you get this year and 2 more.
So, hey,
it's a lot of production.
Tyreek got to be up there. Got to be up there. You know, and who are the other guys? Garrett Wilson. I would keep Garrett Wilson ahead of Ayuk.
What are we doing with Waddle? What are we doing with Waddle now?
Man,
I don't want to overreact.
I don't know what to do with Waddle. I don't either, man. I think I'd still keep Waddle over Ayuk, to be honest.
Waddle over Ayuk. I think Ayuk, me personally, I think he belongs like right there around that T. Higgins mark still. T. Higgins hasn't had a great start to the season, but I still think T. Higgins is a great wide receiver. And I think you got to keep him around that T. Higgins, Devontae Smith range.
I think I can get on board. I went way up on Ayuk this year. I do like the way Ayuk has performed. I just want to go look at Ayuk's numbers real quick because I seen somebody. He's really the wide receiver 18, and this is one reason I was bringing it up and thinking about it because really outside of 2 games, Ayuk really has kind of I ain't gonna say struggled, but he just has been really what you think of what he's going to be with the 49ers wide receiving core. Like, you're going to have your games, and sometimes you're not going to have your games. I mean, he had 32 points in week 1 and had 20 points in week 4 versus Arizona. Other than that, we got a 7-point game, a 9-point game, 11-point game, and a 10-point game. So, to me, I was saying that dude's overreacting a little bit. I wouldn't trade Chris Olave for Ayuk. I sure wouldn't trade Chris Olave plus for Brandon Ayuk. But I want to give Ayuk his respect. I do think the man is definitely up there higher than, I mean, he was a, first-round draft capital, all that good stuff. Good player. I think I can agree with you, Craftman, that T. Higgins, Devontae Smith range. Slide him up in there.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know if I'd go that high. I was just thinking about it right now, how we talk about Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk, how Kirk's kind of the forgotten man. And somehow or another, Brandon Ayuk has jumped Deebo Samuel by a long shot in fantasy, in dynasty rankings. And, I mean, if I was looking for a trade target, it wouldn't be Brandon Ayuk. It would be Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about that, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, I'd said, Deebo Samuel obviously hadn't been like completely healthy, but what made Deebo Samuel so good was they didn't have Christian McCaffrey. that year, and they could literally just play him in the backfield, and he got a lot of work as a running back and a wide receiver. Ergo, his fantasy value was like unmatched. Like he was doing. There's literally nobody that you could tell me, unless like Christian McCaffrey now is basically the value that Deebo Samuel had. But yeah, I mean, and right now I feel like you could go get Deebo Samuel cheaper than you could get Ayuk right now.
which is crazy. But I mean, Debo is hurt too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So, that's just kind of where we stand with Ayuk. I think you do got to put a little more respect on Ayuk's name. But some people might be overreacting. Man, I just want to hop in some of these leagues on Twitter with some of these guys, get some of them reactions, and capitalize on them motherfuckers. Probably on Keep Trade Cut, probably on there. Typing calculators in and shit, and but all right, man. All right, how about this? Let's move to a few rookies. And y'all ready to move on from Ayuk, Craftman?
I got a couple receivers that in these rankings that we could talk about, see if they're moving up or down. For the season, I had George Pickens at wide receiver 24, behind Marquise Brown, behind Jamison Williams, behind Christian Watson. Where's George Pickens in y'all's rankings now? Like, where would you what range would you put him in? Would you rather have George Pickens or Drake London?
Personally, I'd rather
George
have Drake.
Pickens.
Well, see, I'll disagree with Chris on that one. I would rather have Drake London, but me and you defended George Pickens when we did our versus Twitter this year, and I really feel like we've kind of come through on that. Right now, he's the wide receiver 23. He was really the wide receiver 13, like last week or something. Or I don't even know. Might be all. Oh well, he's had a bye week, so that's probably why these numbers look a little. Well, but so currently he sits at wide receiver 23. And Kraft, man, we was saying that it was crazy. Like before his rookie year, I was like, man, people are just hyping up George Pickens because the man's like doing all this crazy stuff in training camp and shit. And then it was like next year, everybody just wants to hate on the man for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck? Like a quick 180. We're definitely doing more crew versus Twitter episodes. We're gonna make that our thing. George Pickens. Let me ask you this: George Pickens, Michael Pittman, Kraft.
George Pickens.
George Pickens. Well, you said Drake London. Would you take Drake London or George Pickens?
I would take Pickens. It's close
Interesting.
though. It's not a hate on Drake London. I like Drake London, but
man, you hate
I feel the same way about Drake London as I do Bijan. The fact that his ceiling is just so capped. Like you're gonna get some games where he's gonna go like 80 yards and a touchdown, but I think that's the most you're getting out of London. You're not gonna see like 130 and 2. By the way, the Falcons spread the ball around and everything. So
right,
and that's why I feel about Bijan too.
I'd be feeling like the only player on the Falcons that could have multiple touchdowns in a game is like, this is hilarious for me to even say this, is like Jonnu Smith or somebody like that. I swear to God, dude, like never is anybody else going to have two, just the way they run their offense.
I got to ask y'all though, as Falcons fans, like say you didn't play fantasy at all, would y'all hate Arthur Smith or would y'all like the way he's running the team?
I'd hate it.
Man, look, I ain't Arthur Smith. Like, I will say this. I just think he's just been a knucklehead on other things. like, it don't even have to do with fantasy. Like, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We're going for 2 out of nowhere on that one situation. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, that's the kind of shit that pisses me off. Like, I'm not an Arthur Smith hater by no means, but if you ask me, I would rather get one of these little hotshot offensive coordinator looking guys that, these little young guys that they always bring in and everybody hates on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me one of these little hotshot. I don't even know what to say. These little offensive mind. Let's spread everybody out and let's get the ball to fucking Kyle Pitts and Drake London and shit, and give the ball to Bijan a little more. That's what I want to do.
Everybody just needs to go get them a Mike McDaniel. I'm telling you.
Yeah, go get me a Mike McDaniel.
That dude is funny as shit, man. I'll be watching his interviews. That dude's definitely high all the time. He's got to be.
Kraft,
Gotta be.
go get me Bieniemy from Washington. Go get me that.
I disagree
I
with you
want that.
totally.
I don't. But listen, I ain't hating on it. Don't we got a winning record right now? We're like 4-3 or something like that, competing in the division. So, hey, I'm pulling for them, and I don't really mind pounding the rock and shit. But don't do the bonehead shit like going for 2. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like, quit doing that stupid ass shit. Like, let's be smart about things.
I just
And
disagree with y'all totally, like spreading
go
the ball
ahead,
around
Kraft.
and everything. The man has Desmond Ritter as his quarterback, and y'all have a winning record, bro. Like, you want him to spread the ball around to Drake London and Kyle Pitts with who? Desmond Ritter throwing the football? Like,
if you
this
think
isn't
about
the
it, though,
recipe for spreading the ball around. Like, give the
but
ball to the running backs and get it out of Ritter's hands. He don't even know how to put the ball in his left hand to avoid a
I
fumble at the
wish
1 yard line.
I wish they would bench his ass and play Heineke, dude. I really do. I think y'all would be so much better with Heineke. I really do.
here's what I would say, Kraft. And I'm not. It's another knock on Arthur Smith. You're just being honest. This dude really is, and it's crazy for me to say this. He's getting carried by our defense right now. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they made some very good moves with his help to bring in all them free agents. You know, Jesse Bates and all them other guys, Calais Campbell, whoever else they brought in. Like, he had a hand in that, bringing in.
Right.
Their y'all's defense was so bad last year. Now
It's been
Now
so bad
they're
my whole
like-
life.
yeah, now they're good.
I'll say this: if we had our O line ain't no good. Our O line's still trash. If we could just get some O line help. But hey, I ain't hating on him, man. Arthur Smith keep winning games. I hope you do.
It's kind of like I've heard on a couple different podcasts or just ex NFL players. Like, some offensive minds come in and they try to run their own scheme, and they don't really care what the personnel is that they have on their team. Like, Arthur Smith is running his scheme based on what he got.
And he's
Which
ass.
which is what he should do. You can't run Andy Reid's offense with Desmond Ritter at quarterback. I'm sorry.
All right, well, quit doing the Bijan shit where he's got a headache and all that shit. Like, what the fuck is that about, Arthur Smith? Come on, man.
There's a lot of controversy surrounding that one because that like fucked with the betting lines. That fucked with a lot of shit, man.
Look,
I think
Kraft,
Vegas was a bit
anyway,
salty about
damn
that too.
the truth is, Kraft, I'm in between. I'm just in between. I do think we're good, and I hope he keeps winning and keeps doing what he does. But it's like, damn, we got all these weapons. Like, we could be using them a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I hope he tears his ACL next game.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah, he's gonna be up there yelling, and it's just
Fucking
gonna
do
fucking
it.
go. He's gonna fall.
But all right, so Pickens, where's the threshold on Pickens? I know we talked about the Falcons, but Pickens, where's it? Kraft, you got your dynasty rankings right in front of you. Where are you setting Pickens at?
Right there around Drake London, Devontae Adams. It depends.
Well, I had
where
Drake
you're
London
at.
in my top 12.
You said you had Drake London in your top 12.
I think I had him 12 last year.
What about Debo? What about Debo?
I want Debo over Pickens.
Jameson Williams.
I want Pickens easily. Jameson Williams ain't even in my radar.
Here's the good one right here.
That
Hollywood.
man ain't shit.
Hollywood Brown or George Pickens?
Man, you know me. I'm picking Hollywood all day.
Yeah, I'd take Hollywood.
I mean, I'm a Hollywood fanboy, the only one out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's about what I got right here. I mean, I would say Jordan Addison, but I'm sure we're all picking Jordan Addison at this point.
I'm taking Addison.
Yeah,
Heck, I'm an Addison fanboy.
All that recency bias. Jordan Addison just went for 30 points in one game, but I mean, Pickens has been putting up like 20 points a week, man. I mean, this dude's going off.
Yeah, I just had it pulled up. I want to pull it up and say it before we hop off, because Pickens does have a nice game log. Just had 15 last week. He's 25, 15, got a 22-point game, got an 11-point game. Does have that 5-point game in there, but
I think with Johnson being back too, it's going to benefit him because now they don't have to solely focus him. Deontay Johnson's going to get his targets with his route running, and George Pickens is going to be that big play guy. I mean, that back shoulder fade that he threw him in that game, I mean, that was cash. I mean, he just immediately caught that shit. I mean, it's nice.
What about DJ Moore? DJ Moore, George Pickens.
Man, I'm taking Pickens, man.
I'm taking Moore. Fuck that.
Hey, me and Chris had a couple disagreements in this one.
I'll take Pickens. I mean, Pickett ain't good, but god dang, Justin Fields is fucking terrible at throwing the football.
What about old Tyler Badgett? Man, throwing no looks out there.
That man DJ Moore had like 250 receiving yards with Justin Fields throwing him the ball. What do you mean?
Yeah, that was a Thursday night game. I don't pay no attention to them fucking 3 days of
Man,
rest
that
games, man. Them shits don't count.
Well, nobody told Kirk Cousins yesterday that was a Monday night primetime game either. Then
For real. I know, man. And I started Deshaun over him. Pussy ass Deshaun. We
I don't
gonna
know what's
definitely
going on with
listen.
Deshaun.
I ain't gonna talk about Deshaun tonight because I'm just too pissed off at him. But we definitely bringing his bitch ass on the pod, and we definitely gonna talk about his pussy ass sitting on Kraft, man. Listen, y'all know me. I've defended Deshaun Watson more than anybody. Like I don't hate on him for the damn massage
I
table
went to
shit.
bat
Like,
for you, Deshaun. What the fuck?
but
Making me look like an idiot.
here's the honest truth about Deshaun Watson, man. And I only played in 1 out of these 3 weeks, so he hasn't burned me too bad. Well, obviously he was out, but he sat out 2 weeks, Kraft, man, from a shoulder contusion. That's a bruise, Kraft. That's a bruise, man.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious? And then last week he comes out of the game, he passes concussion protocol, and he doesn't go back in. Like, are you serious, bro? Look, everybody in the crew knows this, man. I do not respect that type of shit, man. Like, if I had a torn ACL, man, I'm taping that shit back up, and I'm walking back in, and I'm fucking playing, man. I'm sick of that shit, man. A bruise and a non-concussion, and you've missed pretty much 3 weeks. Are you shitting me, dude? Maybe he needs one of them damn massages to get him right.
And then PJ Walker came back in and they won that game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not to mention that Deshaun has just looked bad. Period. When he is playing, like
That does suck. I defended the fuck out of Deshaun. I'm looking like a clown too. It's like,
Well,
God damn, Deshaun.
Just one of our bad takes right here, man. I was here for it, man. I couldn't wait for him to just go off this year, man. So I could be like, yeah, y'all hating this man? Can't
I'm
do
like,
that
man,
shit.
you
I'm
can
pissed
fill
at
up
that
all of the
man.
massage therapists you want to, but when it comes to fucking with fantasy, dude, nah, that crosses the line, bro.
Crap, he
Like,
got me
fuck.
negative, man. He gets me negative and then bounces. Are
And then
you serious, man? I'm playing against the #1 guy in our league, and I played Deshaun Watson, and the man gets me negative and then says, I ain't coming back. Are you fucking serious, man?
that
Send
I'm
me the
with
fuck
Chris.
off.
That's like way over the fucking line, man. Do what you want, but don't fuck with my fantasy team and
No.
screw me up, man. Like that shit's ridiculous. And I even you texted me the day before, like, who do I start, Kirk Cousins or Deshaun? And I was like, man, got to go with Deshaun. Man, goes out there, throws a fucking duck like me and you throw out in the backyard, fucking
He threw
interception.
3. Didn't he throw 3 picks before
He threw 2. One got called back because Buddy couldn't hold on
yeah.
to it. And then he fucking fell on his ass and didn't get a concussion and sat out the rest of the game because he sucks.
And he was just sitting, and he was over there like jumping up and down and cheering when they were scoring and stuff. I was
He
like,
looked like
oh
this
my
with
God. Like,
his fucking shoulder. He was like,
I
yeah.
know. I'm like, bro, if you can do this, you can throw the fucking football. God damn.
Yes. I mean, just stop with the fake ass pussy shit, Deshaun. Seriously, man, what happened to you? It's like David Thomas
Money.
said it right. He said it right. Yep, just like Kraft said. He got paid and he's a diva now. That's all. That's just a matter of the fact. He's pretty much quit football this past month.
I think
that's just crazy.
He probably just going to quit, period.
He's like, man, I'm
I
stuck
done
in
gave up.
Cleveland
I've
anyways.
already.
This man
I
said,
done
I'm
gave
gonna
up
come in
completely on Deshaun
and I'm
Watson.
gonna fuck up the whole QB market, and then I'm gone.
I'm finna drop his ass, goddamn it. Sick of his shit.
Hey,
Send
you
me
know
a-
what's funny, Matt? I was offered Dunk some trades earlier today, and he got Deshaun and Tua in Dynasty, and he said, I need a QB. I was like, I got Zach Wilson for your ass.
I offered him so much for Deshaun at one point too, and he said he said that's a top 5 quarterback. He said top 5 easy. I said definitely not this year, but maybe.
I did say he wasn't gonna be top 5, but I did think he was gonna bounce back. All right, man, y'all. Let's move on. Let's talk about a few of these rookies. I want to get a few of these rookies in. Let's start it off right with our man Josh Downs. Now, listen, man. I think me and Kraft, we watched a lot of film over the offseason, and I remember my conclusion is I did not dislike Josh Downs, but the dude is so small. And I'm not even saying that I even buy into all that size and shape and all that shit. Like, I really don't even buy it, but the dude is tiny. Super tiny. Looks like me out there.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know if I really buy into Josh Downs. But listen, man, Josh Downs, he's had a couple good games in a row with Gardner Minshew. We'll make sure we put that in there. But I think the truth is, Kraft, I was wondering is this sustainable? Can Josh Downs keep rolling, or is this just a Gardner Minshew thing? He's just better for these wide receivers than Richardson is.
He's definitely better for these wide receivers than Richardson, but like we did so much research in the offseason on these rookies and the yards that they put up. Like I remember doing a major episode of rookie receivers that went over 800 yards and what their futures look like, and it's pretty bright. So, I mean, production is production. It really, I mean, it can come down when Richardson comes back for sure because he's not the pocket passer Minshew is, but just don't overlook these rookies that are showing out. And, another one in the same vein as, Downs is Tank Dell. They're both really undersized guys, but the NFL's changing. We got to start, I think we all got to start changing with it and start respecting these small little dudes out there running around.
Yeah. Football's just soft, man. It's basically flag football these days. So got to get these little guys some respect. The football really has just changed a lot. Like, but here's the thing, Kraft. I seen somebody saying that they're gonna outlaw on defense the little I don't even know how to describe it, like a hip drop tackle. Like you grab somebody from behind and you kind of drop. Like I was like, yeah, but why don't we just outlaw tackling? Like let's just let everybody run by. Or just try to push them out of bounds.
I forgot who did, but somebody did say something. One of the players did say something. He said that he gives it like 3 or 4 years and they'll be playing flag football. They won't even be able to tackle.
Hey, they got flag football coming to the Olympics. So yeah, Josh Downs. I'm digging Josh Downs. I've been putting him in my lineup. I feel like he's like pretty much a must start for me now in fantasy football. Like I got a lot of injuries, so I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but he's in my flex spot every year, every week now. I don't care who the matchup is. Josh Downs is there.
Yeah, I think he's definitely worthy of a flex spot. Like must start depending on where you're at.
Especially
like with Minshew. Yeah, and PPR for sure. Minshew, yeah, he's a better pocket passer, but I think what benefits him even when he comes back, like Richardson comes back, is that he's a slot guy, and then also like Kraft has said, the NFL's changing. They're running these kids where they're running these sweeps and double pass offs and just fucking handing the ball off to these kind of receivers in the backfield and shit. And these fast receivers are just making it work.
These man beaters running all them crossing routes and shit.
Yep.
Like, so,
but I mean, Jordan Addison's small too, but we didn't really hate on Jordan Addison. Like he's a small guy too, but the college production was just outrageous with Addison. But I mean, I don't know how far you want to move up Downs. I mean, I got my rookie receiver rankings before the season ahead. So like Quentin Johnston, you willing to just go ahead and throw him ahead of him already?
We're going to talk about Quentin Johnston here in about 2.5. Listen, I'm not ready to go that far yet, but Quentin Johnston ain't really producing, so
definitely above Mingo.
Definitely above Mingo.
No.
Chris says no. Well, what was that range? There was those 4 wide receivers. Like, you're not putting Josh Downs ahead of Zay.
No.
And then
not JSN, QJ, and Addison. That was the 4.
Not those 4. And then the next was what? Probably Mingo. Is that right?
Yeah.
Rashee Rice.
Rashee Rice. Hey, Rashee Rice. Got to put some respect on his motherfucking name.
Yeah.
Dude killed me last week, man. Fucking Zamil. Bitch ass.
Who? What other rookies like Jaden Reed? He's been all right. He's been pretty productive. But, I'd have him above them. I'd have Downs above Reed, Marvin Mims. Have him above him. Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt does look good though. I ain't even gonna lie. Like when he finally getting some playing time, this man, he is so damn fast. But the Giants just suck so bad.
All right, so we're going to kind of put Josh Downs pretty much after that tier of those first round guys is what it sounds like. Chris says no to the Mingo. I'm not really off of Mingo all the way neither, just this year. I'm not off of Michael Wilson. I like Michael Wilson from Arizona. I think he's I picked him up in my family league. Man, that family league, dude, that's just fucking tight, man. And I lost Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins. Just a story of my fantasy career, man. I just cannot keep motherfuckers healthy, man.
You
Shout
know
out
who
to
the
Paige.
number one rookie receiver is, though, right? That
Yeah.
wasn't even on our list.
Who was it?
Puka Nacua.
Puka. All right, Puka's way up there. Puka, I forgot about Puka. Oh, Puka Nacua, but let's be honest.
Last name.
He's ahead of fucking Zay, and he's ahead of QJ, and he's ahead of
JSN.
I can't put him ahead of JSN. I don't know, man. Not yet. I'm not willing to do it yet.
I'm
Crafty
the dude's
Spike.
way past JSN for me.
Dang.
It's not even a debate anymore.
Y'all
This kid is
spicy.
ridiculous, dude. Did you watch that game? Have you watched the kid play? I haven't seen JSN do anything like Puka Nacua has done during this little stint in the NFL.
Listen, I wasn't the biggest JSN fanboy. I do think JSN is good, and I still had him ranked number 2. Hey, remember, Kraft? I was that weird guy out there that had Jordan Addison number 1. But you listen, I like Puka and I respect him all the way, and might even regret trading him. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait just a little bit before I throw him ahead of JSN, just a little bit, and Addison. Definitely throw him ahead of QJ though. Fuck that shit.
You do that shit now on October 24th. You do that shit now. You put Puka ahead of them guys. But I mean, JSN's definitely got some promise.
Yeah.
Like he just needs Lockett to move on, and he'll be fine.
I mean, aside from these other rookies, like Puka did have like kind of the best situation. The star receivers on IR, he's not playing at all. Yeah. And then this guy kind of fits in. He slots right in. It's like, okay, this dude, he kind of, same kind of skill set as Cooper Kupp. He's a big reception guy. He can catch the ball a lot. You could throw the ball to him a good bit. He can burn receivers.
He's just open.
I mean, he's just open. He's always fucking open.
He's always fucking open.
He's always fucking open. Yeah. But
let's
we did.
Move on. Oh, go ahead.
Man, I do want to say one thing. We did say we need to go back on, when we started this, that we said JSN's probably not going to be the guy this season. Jordan Addison's the best redraft option that you got out of these rookie guys when we skipped on Puka. But so I am with you a little bit, Matt, where we knew this wasn't going to be the year for JSN. You can't overreact now. Week 7, when we knew this was going to be the case to begin with.
Right. Man, people got to listen to the crew a little bit. We know a little something. All right, real quick, or not real quick, but we had already brought up their names. QJ, Quentin Johnston. Listen, I texted my guy, Kill. I just asked him, he took Quentin Johnston, and I asked him, I said, are you worried about Quentin Johnston? He said no, but he should be producing more, which I do agree with that. I don't think it's time to panic on Quentin Johnston just yet. I think they're going to have a coaching change after this year and all that stuff. So I think we're going to see the Chargers look a little bit different next year, no matter what. I mean, they're 2-5 right now. So I think things are going to look a little bit different. I'm not going to panic on Quentin Johnston. There was at one point where Quentin Johnston was like the guy behind like JSN and rookie drafts and stuff like that. And obviously he was getting faded. I'm just not going to give up on him on 1 year. What about you, Kraft? Are you willing to sell him straight up for early? I mean, probably an early first, but somebody offers you a first round pick. You don't know where it's at. You trading QJ?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm shipping that shit off immediately.
I'll take a second. I'll take a second. I'm serious.
Good Lord. Already, man?
Receivers that don't produce in their rookie year do not just all of a sudden become great. You got to see something. It don't have to be like 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns or no shit, but you got to see something out of him. And he's got opportunity. He can't beat out your boy Jordan Palmer, old Joshua Palmer. I mean, if you can't beat out Joshua Palmer,
Yeah.
he's had all the opportunity in the world. And you can ask me this a little later, but as of right now, I'd take a second for QJ.
Whew. And Chris, you're right there with him, huh?
Like late first. I don't know about second just yet, but like the whole thing with like if you're getting QJ that early and you're gonna know you're gonna have to wait for the production, it's like you're playing the long game, and I don't like doing that in fantasy. Why would I subject myself to wanna lose when I can just have Puka and win right now?
Well, my thing with QJ is like he had a lot of red flags coming in. Like we watched his tape, super athletic. We both said he was like a yak, like yards after catch god. But the red flags that he had coming in are just showing up even more now that he's in NFL. Separation issues, route running issues, dropping the ball. Like it just keeps happening over and over. Like he just seems to me like he's going to be a bust. And there's plenty of bust in the first round of NFL drafts. It happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, true. All right, so that's where we stand. Chris says you throw him a late first. Crash says throw him a second. I say hang tight, man. Hang tight. Things might look different next year, but Craft
Where'd
is
you
right.
draft him at, though? Like, in this draft, you got him at, like, the 108.
Yes.
So you wouldn't take the 204? 205? You wouldn't drop him down that low? He ain't worth the 108.
So in Superflex,
next year's draft, ain't nobody giving you a first for QJ. I'm just saying that straight up. Ain't nobody giving you a first for Quentin Johnson.
That's true. You definitely ain't getting a first for QJ. I don't know, though. I'm just going to be honest. There's definitely some folks out there that was probably high on QJ and was like, shit, I'll throw him my way.
Yeah, Mattress Mac, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, I ain't throwing a first. He was probably going, in redraft and one quarterback leagues, he was probably going like in that 105 range, something like that. So, yeah.
He's a bum.
All right, well, let's move on to the other guy who's not a bum. Old Addison right here. I love me some Addison. I had a great game this last week against San Fran on Monday. Where do we stand on Addison, man? Like, I guess Dynasty ranking rise. I think we know where we are at in rookie ranking rise. Like, I would have taken him over JSN personally. I'm glad I wasn't stuck with that decision to have the balls to do it, but that's what I would have done. I mean, where do we stand with? What about Dynasty ranking wise? Rookie? To me, he's probably like the top rookie. Him and Nakua got to be thrown up in there. I'd still throw JSN up in there ahead of Nakua, but what you think, Kraft, man?
I mean, he's got to move way up in your rankings. I would have him above DK Metcalf for sure. And I mean, I think he should be around that Olave range also. That Olave Ayuk range that we were talking about earlier. I think you could say he could be there, but we got to remember that JJ is out. Yeah. These 30-point games ain't coming naturally with Justin Jefferson in the game. So, like, I'm still holding on to that he's just going to be a high floor type receiver unless Justin Jefferson goes somewhere. Because as long as he's the number 2 on this team, you're just not going to get like top level, performance out of this guy. So I still think he's safe. I still think he's a good wide receiver too. That's why I think he belongs in that, like, at the most, Devontae Smith, T. Higgins type range. He might just have that kind of career path.
So he's good, but his ceiling's just a little cap. That's what we're saying right now. I think I agree with that. Yeah. Chris, what you think? You like Addison. I know you got him in at least one league, right?
I don't think that he's capped, to be honest with you. I don't think that he's capped. He's got 6 touchdowns on the year. I think that he can more than make up for his fantasies, like him not being the main guy just through scoring. alone.
That's a lot of
Yeah.
touchdowns. So that regression got to be coming.
Well, of course, but
6 touchdowns in 7 weeks. You think this man's gonna finish with 15 touchdowns?
Yeah, let's see.
16 touchdowns
shit,
this year. I mean, I like him a lot.
shit. James Conner did it. Why not?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
heck, I like it.
what's his ceiling though, Chris? Like, let's just say, where would you have him ranked dynasty wise? Like, what's his ceiling? Would you take Jalen Waddle?
I feel like that's tough.
I mean,
In a startup,
that's the number 2 on the team that averages. I mean, he's got one of the highest average depth of target as you're going to get, the highest yards per reception at receiver. So,
Yeah, I mean, my logic behind that would be like Jalen Waddle is going to become the guy before Jordan Addison is,
allegedly.
allegedly.
But Waddle last year, his ceiling, I think he finishes like the wide receiver 8 with
Yes,
with Tyreek Hill finishing
Tyreek
as like
there.
the wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
So, like, do you think that's possible for Addison with Jefferson? Could he finish as like the wide receiver 8 in any given year, or just a top 10 wide receiver?
Yeah, I think he could.
Yeah.
Well,
I
look,
think he
here's one thing I was saying. We were talking about beginning of the year, talking about these duos like Higgins, Chase, Smith, AJ Brown, Waddle, Hill. I was saying the next one is Addison and Justin Jefferson. So
we
I could
won't talk
definitely
about
see.
McLaurin Dotson. We won't bring that one up.
Nah, hell no.
We won't
So,
talk about that one.
we high on Addison over here, but some people think their ceilings are capped more than others. So last rookie I got on the list right here, Devon Achane. What the fuck are we doing with Devon Achane? Went the fuck off for 3 games, but it was just 3 games, and he's been a little hurt. And that's a lot of people's argument, will say he's going to be hurt because he's tiny. Just saying, but I'm kind of bought into A-Chain. What you think, Kraft?
What did he have again? Is it a high ankle sprain? Is it knee? I think it was a knee injury, right?
Yeah.
So what, like an MCL or something?
They didn't say, just said knee issue, but they're saying that he's for sure going to be back week 11.
Yeah. I have a hard time with A-Chain. I don't own him in any leagues, unfortunately, but Chris, I think you do. Like, what would you do with A-Chain? I mean, I'm other than just saying you're holding, like, where would you? All right, I'm gonna give you some names, like Dynasty running back rankings. Would you rank him above Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley,
No.
Jahmyr Gibbs?
No, not yet.
So he's about. And what about Austin Eckler?
See, that's getting close.
Eckler's just his age. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would put him behind them guys, I feel like, still, but
he's like right there in that tier behind them. So we saw 3 games from him, but the 3 games that we did see from him was just nonsense. Like, it was ridiculous what he was doing. I mean, yeah, little guy, but he was literally just burning people. I mean, he was just outrunning them. But at this point, I kind of just have him sitting on IR, and the sale price for him, like the buy price, it's got to be ridiculous just from what I've seen. Otherwise, I'm just going to hold him and see, because Mostert only signed a 1-year deal to go back. Mostert's 31 years old. I mean, he's going to be on the outs. And Mostert and A-Chain are these speedy backs, so they both kind of do the same thing. So,
if I offered you Jonathan Taylor for Devon A-Chain, you wouldn't take it.
oh, I would take it. Yeah, fuck yeah, I would take it.
Okay.
well, give another one, Kraft. What's another one? Go a little bit lower than Taylor.
Let me see. Tony Pollard,
No, I wouldn't take Tony Pollard.
DeAndre Swift.
I'll just hold on to A-Chain. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to A-Chain.
That's kind of tough, man. Devon A-Chain is very 3-game sample size. It's hard to.
It is very hard.
And you know that he's not the type of running back that's going to get everything. Even when Raheem Mostert's gone, like they're going to have to find somebody that can, get the bulk of the carries while he is like the change of pace back, but a little more. Like you're looking at probably at the most, 15, 16 opportunities a game.
Yeah.
With a guy like
it's
that.
going to be mainly on like 2 or 3 plays that most of his damage fantasy wise is going to come from.
And what if Miami's offense just isn't as explosive later on? Like, I don't know. It's real tough. This is like the perfect analogy of talent over opportunity. Like, do you want the guy who's going to get the bulk of the work, or do you want the guy that's super talented that's not going to receive everything? And it's hard to go back in running back history where a guy that's only getting 15 carries or 15 opportunities a game ends up being a top 5 running back in a given year. You're looking at the Saquons, Zeke's, McCaffrey's. Like, these guys got so much fucking work all the time.
Yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. H-Chain got us shut the fuck up.
Flabbergasted, dude. It really does.
I mean, it's just like the sample size, and that's why at this point it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the only way that I'm just gonna come right off A-Chain is if somebody offers me something like Jonathan Taylor or something like that. I don't think I would ever get offered that, but that's about what I'd take until I see something again. I mean, when he comes back and he don't do shit, it may just be like, oh well, whatever. Fuck, he wasn't that good.
Well, we need to ask Matt, because Matt's the guy who's always like, get some good games out of your running backs and sell their ass. Like, what do you...
Well, listen, I've just kind of flipped the script when it comes to Dynasty and running backs. Like, if I was just like giving advice to Chris, like, not that Chris even needs advice from me or anything, but I was just like, oh, if somebody offers you a haul, I probably would just fucking take it at this point. Like, if you could just get... All right, like, what's a little bit lesser running back than A-Chain, like, on the Dynasty list? Like,
all right. Say somebody comes at you with Javonte Williams and
a first?
Just say Javonte Williams and Pacheco.
I'd probably just take it. I'd probably just be like, fuck it, give it to me. I
mean,
but I don't know.
Him to get fucking lost. No, fuck no, I'm not doing that.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just tough with running backs. It's just tough. I mean, if you give me maybe not just those players, but maybe give me what if Chris, somebody
What's
comes
wrong
over
with
you
Pacheco,
with 2. Hey, I'm all in on Pacheco.
I mean, I like Pacheco
right now.
It's just what about that sample size thing?
What about this though, Kraft really Chris? Somebody comes over you with first for A-Chain. You gonna take that deal?
Yeah, I would take 2 first.
Even if they were late?
2 late first?
I would.
Yeah,
what if you just didn't know?
I wouldn't.
You just...
It's just the way with my team is sitting right now, though, like in where I have H-N, yeah, I would probably take 2 first for him because I know that I'm good.
It's just one of them things, man. It's just like these running backs, their value's high. But the thing is, like, somebody comes at you with a haul for CMC. You gonna sell CMC? Like, you know how tough that shit's gonna be?
They've been trying to literally, that's like a weekly thing. Just decline all of them.
Don't nobody come for CMC and redraft.
I will say, I haven't gotten a single offer for Devon Achane. Not a single offer.
Because they don't know what the value is.
Yeah.
Right. And they know that you probably value him more than, or I ain't gonna say more than he's worth, but like what he's done in his opportunity, you're not gonna sell him because you want to see more out of it. So they know they're not gonna, and they're not willing to offer a Tony Pollard for A-Chain and take that risk that A-Chain just had a couple good games.
Exactly.
Right. That's a tough one. A-Chain's the toughest, the most controversial one.
Throw him on the IR and you just wait till week 11 and...
I mean, I don't know what I would trade for him, like, just on a 3-game sample. Like, what? I don't even know where to start. That's why you hadn't got any offers. I have no idea where to even start.
And you got to think, like, whenever they put this man on IR, he didn't. Like, he finished the game that they were playing. He had real good numbers, and then the next day, Devon Achane, IR. He's on IR, knee injury.
But this could be one where you could, if it is just like a a 3-game thing. Like you could capitalize something major.
I
on it.
agree. Yeah, you really could.
Man, Chris, just put his name on the trade block and just see if anybody.
I'm pretty
offers
sure
it.
he is.
Man, damn, I just want to know what offers are going out there for A-Chain. If you're listening, you got some A-Chain offers,
Oh,
send them
do it
my way.
again.
I just want to see them. Let's see what they are. Well, shoot, that's all I had on my list, Craft. Anybody, any names out there we want to toss out there?
Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. Just going down the running back list, like where are we putting Pacheco as far as running back rankings? I mean, like Pacheco, Josh Jacobs. Which one would you rather have?
Probably
Still
Josh
Jacobs.
Jacobs, but
Jacob
Pacheco,
still.
gotta put respect on Pacheco's name. He's doing me some good work in my home league. Dude was 13.
What about
just before last
Ramondre?
week.
Would you throw him
think
over Ramondre?
I think I'm taking Pacheco, and you know me, I was high on
Yeah.
Ramondre.
Or Tony Pollard?
I don't know if I'm going that high though. That's too high.
Yeah, I mean he's moved up. He's moved up a lot. I feel
Way
like in
up.
the past 7 weeks. And so what are you doing about Ramondre? Like how far has he dropped, and how far has Damian Pierce dropped? Like looking at some names here. So with Ramondre, would you rather have Aaron Jones based on just like a 1 or 2 year experience with Aaron Jones over Ramondre Stevenson?
I think just leave me with Ramondre right now, man. Man, Aaron Jones, he's hurt. I know he came back, but
I would
About
go with
Kamara?
Aaron Jones. I'd take Kamara too.
yeah, I'd probably take Kamara. I don't even think Kamara's even doing that much to me personally. He just Derek Carr. I seen a little meme today. Y'all ever seen the movie Semi Pro?
Yeah.
With Will
Yeah.
Ferrell, and you remember that one
It's a
scene where he's in the
classic.
post and they're just throwing it back and forth. He's like, "All right, back, boo, boo. All right, back." You remember that scene?
Yeah.
That's Derek Carr and Kamara right now. I'll take Kamara. Fuck it. But let's just say this: Derek Carr gets benched, and Jameis Winston comes in. Is Kamara the same? I don't think Jameis
No.
Winston gonna be checking it down like that. He's just gonna sling it out.
I think Kamara's a perfect sell high right now.
Yeah.
I had this man buried in our rankings. I mean, I think you did too. I got him in Dynasty. I mean, he was behind like James Conner, David Montgomery. Like, I had him behind Kendre Miller in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Mm.
Heck, I still got him behind
look at where-
Kendre. Fuck it.
Hey, man, look at where he went in our startups. I bet you can find that Kendre Miller probably got drafted ahead of Kamara.
Yeah.
But yeah, because Matt was the one that drafted him, probably.
I did
Yeah.
draft Kendre. I don't know where though. Kendre goose egging for me. It was just perfect for a
That's what I'm saying.
motherfucking tank in here, but I better see some production next year, damn it. But all right, well, Craft. Anybody? Any other names we got on throw
David
out there?
Montgomery, who I just said, how far does he go up? He's just signed a 3-year deal with the Lions. He's 26 years old. What's crazy, I heard on a podcast the other day, he is like 5 months older than Ramondre Stevenson. David Montgomery is.
I didn't know that, but Montgomery's up there. Got to be up there. Give me a list, Craft.
Tony Pollard, who we said earlier.
I don't know about that. I still might stick with Tony P.
Swift,
I think I'll take Montgomery over Swift.
what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I'd go with Montgomery still.
Give me another name, Craft.
He's over Najee, right? We done with Najee?
Man.
Yeah.
That man Najee looking like
I'll be honest, I that's where pretty much I've got Ramondre with Najee.
I ain't got him that low, all right?
I got him low, man.
I'm burying Najee's ass.
You
man,
got to.
He
You got
looking
to
like
bury
Trent
his ass.
Richardson.
You know who I had before the season is RB18 Dynasty rankings. Miles fucking Sanders.
I won't
What
all the
do
way
you
give up on that
do?
one yet, though.
But
They're
what do you
saying-
do with Sanders? Like,
They're saying that it's about to be a running back by committee.
Like it has been already, shit.
would you rank Chuba over Miles Sanders?
Yes, at this
Ah.
point, yeah.
Hell nah, I won't, man. It's just been 1 year, man. I'd give it another year.
Miles
But that's
Sanders
my
or
worst, mate.
Damian
That's-
Pierce?
I'm gonna be honest. I might would take Miles Sanders still.
I think I would take.
I'm starting to kind
If he
of cool
plays.
down on Pierce.
Like, if he fucking plays.
Do you want 5 points or do you want 4 points in your lineup? That's the question.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. That was tough, man. I'm kind of off of Damian Pierce now. I mean, what can you do with that motherfucker?
Hey, I remember back when we were doing our rankings, you were like, Devin Singletary, who the fuck is that? He ain't taking shit.
I said ain't
that was
nobody worried
him.
about Devin's single carry, dude. Single carry.
And I was sitting over here. Joe Mixon's a fucking stud, man. He's gonna be a RB1 this year. So
Where is he at? I don't even know. Where's he at right now, Kraft?
About
I
where
don't
we
know,
said he
bro.
was going to be.
let me look it up. Y'all can.
I
He
said
might have.
bye.
I think he's actually lower than we said that he was.
He had a bye week. He did have a bye week, but he's averaging in PPR 11.5 a game, 10.7, 10.1 PPR. He is let's see. I'm trying to find history right here. He's the RB23 with a bye week right now. So give him about 10 more. Give him about 10 more points if he didn't have a bye. So he'd probably be around the RB 17.
Yeah,
That way you had him ranked, I think.
I can't remember where I had him ranked, but I did say if you took that huge game out last year, his numbers come out to a high RB3. It was like 26 or something like that.
I give up on these plotters, man. Like,
yeah,
I just love opportunity, and I thought he was going to get it all, and the offense was going to be so good. But like Joe Mixon and Najee, I defended them till I couldn't no more. But it doesn't matter how many opportunities you get if you suck.
right. We definitely gonna do an episode. I guess we'll probably wait till the end of the year. Our worst takes, maybe our best takes and our worst takes, or something like that. Where we were right, and where we were wrong. But all right, well, shoot, fellas, I think that about wraps it up. I feel like this was a good ass episode for your ass. Hey, follow the podcast. I feel like I ain't been saying enough. Add the podcast, listen to it. We're trying to get some content out there that maybe will last more than a week. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these episodes, by the next week, you don't want to listen to it. I feel like these last 3 or 4 episodes, you could listen to for about 2 or 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But thanks for listening, man. We're still doing good. Still had a bump up from the summer and rolling. So I appreciate everybody out there. Kraft, man, anything to say to our folks?
Just this work is so much easier than the off-season work. The off-season work is hard going through all these rookies and statistics and all this shit. Now we just get on and we talk what's been going on.
Right. Dynasty value. Some trades. Might have some trades for them again next week. Swizzy, you got anything to say to these motherfuckers?
No, not much. I mean, like I said, it is a bit easier during the season because all you do is you just watch what happens and then you can kind of talk about it. You ain't got to go do your major research or anything like that. You can kind of just get on here and bullshit around, you know?
Say what we got to say.
Yeah.
But all right then, man. Fellas, thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to the podcast. But with that said, we out.
Peace.